Thousands of European homeowners are paying up to €600 for a so-called Renovation Passport, only to receive a useless, generic PDF telling them to insulate their walls. It's a complete trap. But here is a surprising truth. While a bad passport is a scam, a strictly compliant one is actually a legal shield.
And getting this wrong is severe. Without a proper sequence, you could easily blow 30 to 48,000 euros doing upgrades in the completely wrong order. Seriously, doing the wrong upgrade first can literally ruin your home.
By the end of this explainer, you're going to learn the exact legal checklist a quality passport absolutely must meet. And even better, I'll show you a massive workaround most people completely miss, so you can bypass that €600 fee entirely.
Okay, let's jump straight into part 1, the European mandate.
Under Article 12 of the EPBD, every EU member state has to introduce a mandatory renovation passport scheme by May 2026. But what exactly is it? Well, it's a legally structured, building-specific roadmap for a staged, deep renovation. It is absolutely crucial that this is based on a physical, on-site assessment of your actual property to safely map out your upgrades. It should never, ever be just a generic template.
And please, do not make the mistake of confusing this with your standard energy performance certificate. An EPC is literally just a snapshot of where your home is today. A true renovation passport is the step-by-step roadmap that tells you exactly how to hit your target, while actually accounting for realistic costs.
That brings us to Part 2, the Annex VIII checklist.
To avoid getting scammed by a cheap template, you have to ensure your document hits these strict EU requirements. A real passport includes your current energy performance, a visual step sequence, and, most importantly, the optimal order of works. Look, proper sequencing prevents catastrophic technical mistakes. If a document tells you to heavily insulate your walls before upgrading your ventilation, they are creating a massive mold risk in your house.
It also has to document your estimated energy and emission savings, and here's the big one, your estimated bill savings with fully documented cost assumptions. It should outline health and indoor air quality improvements too. Why does this matter to you? Because documented bill savings and health metrics are what actually convince banks to give you better loans.
Now that €600 assessment fee is very real. But here's the part most homeowners completely miss. How do you bypass paying this out of pocket? Well, there's actually a workaround that could save you thousands.
Let's look at Part 3, the hidden subsidies.
In several EU countries, if you enter through the right door, you do not have to pay this fee yourself. Take Germany. Their federal scheme currently subsidizes around 50% of the consultant's fee. And it gets better. Following the passport sequence actually unlocks an extra 5% grand bonus. The document literally pays for itself before the work even begins.
Or look at Ireland. They integrate this passport directly into their SEAI one-stop shop, so it isn't just a piece of paper. Doing it this way unlocks access to highly subsidized loans starting around 3% for up to €75,000. Just compare that to your standard 6 to 9% home improvement loan. It's a total game changer.
And over in France, the mandatory advisory costs are heavily subsidized or bundled directly into the MaPrimeRénov program. So, depending on your income band, you aren't writing a separate €600 check for this passport at all. So, your practical takeaway here is this. Check your national schemes first. Countries like Italy and Hungary are rapidly developing these frameworks right now ahead of the 2026 deadline. Do not blindly book a private assessment without checking to see if state funding covers it first.
Which leads us to Part 4, what you need to do before you book.
If you take absolutely nothing else away from this explainer, memorize this one question to protect your budget. Before you contact an assessor, ask them this exact phrase. Is this passport connected to a national funding program or one-stop shop in my country?
If they say yes, you go through that route, save the assessment fee, and immediately unlock your grants. But what if the answer is no? Maybe because your country's scheme is still rolling out. You still need to hire a certified expert. Why? Because paying for a proper sequence out of pocket is still vastly cheaper than doing the work backwards and paying to renovate your house twice.
Listen, a real passport doesn't tell you to gut your house overnight. It simply tells you which step to take first, exactly what it will cost, and what it unlocks for the step after that. A strategic protective sequence is exactly what your money is supposed to buy here. Make absolutely sure it does.
If you're about to start a project, before spending €20,000 on the completely wrong upgrade, make sure you understand how all these pieces actually fit together. You can get a one-on-one audit to safely map your specific sequence using the link in the description. Do not make an expensive mistake.
And speaking of expensive decisions, with global gas price shifts dramatically changing the math for 2026, which system actually saves you more money today, a heat pump or a new gas boiler? The return on investment calculation looks completely different now than it did just 18 months ago. We're calculating that exact ROI shift in our next explainer, and you definitely won't want to miss those numbers.